Oh hey guys, it's Cthulhuid here, and I just figured I'd bring you guys an update on Korra, or the Korra fanfic, you know. Anyway, I pretty much just figured I'd try doing these little vlogs with unrelated game footage. I don't know, I might put something in them, but it's not really something I had in mind. I'm sort of like trying, sort of different outside fanfiction.net sort of like bits of content in between story updates. So like there's the Twitter and now I'm trying these and anyway. I guess I'd figured I'd sort of explain why I'm writing Fall of Korra. Because you can't really do that in such a short description. So basically watching it I kind of felt like they made numerous concessions, right? Sort of like the lion turtle in Last Airbender. A lot of people say it feels like a Deus Ex Machina and all this. I kind of felt the same way about Korra. I felt like I don't know if it was Nickelodeon saying this is a kid show, you need to dumb it down, or if it was just like the writers not having time or money. I mean, I kind of lean more towards Nickelodeon having something to do with it. Maybe that's my, millennial generation thing of not liking big corporations. I don't know. Anyway, or maybe it's the fact that I'm right. Or maybe it's the fact that Fraps is dropping quality like nuts. Or frame rate. Anyway, so basically, oh Jesus, Fall of Korra is my essentially like a rewrite. So like rather than it being, one series that then they were like, oh, you can do three more, and then the season sort of like felt disjointed because they weren't ever originally planned to be like a four series show, Um, so first off, it's like more integrated in that sense, and also, how would you say it? I'm not limited by a network, so I don't know. I'm dead. So you don't have to worry about, the purse string holder or whatever telling me to do this and that. So I can just write how I want things to go. And yeah. And okay, here was my main like contention, is that the word, with Legend of Korra, which is that without fault, every single series or season will have a pretty good villain with like solid motivations and all this and that. And in the last, it's generally right before the finale, so right before we have to fight the villain, right? And then suddenly, out of nowhere, the villain will turn out to be a psycho, right? And then, so since it's a kid show, we don't want to have like, we don't want to feel bad about beating up villains. So let's just go, oh, well, we'll just make him Hitler, essentially. And then just right before you fight him, just make him Hitler. So then, we don't have to worry about it. So that was kind of a pain. Amon is a good example. Like, the Equalists had legitimate points, but then Amon's like a psycho who lies, and it discredits the whole movement. Even though they still have legit points, but then just sort of, they don't ever talk about Equalists again, and that's sort of that. So then, rather than going that route, like, let's not make the villains like psycho liars. So like Unalaq wants to, bring balance to the South or whatever because they've lost their spiritual touch. And he has a legit point, but then they make him want to like summon Satan, like the Avatar equivalent of Satan, which is something like I don't get that motive. Like if you know so much about spirits, you'd know like what are you gonna do with Vatu? Like I don't understand. So that was book 2, man. I don't have like I think some people really hate book 2. I don't mind it, except for like right at the end, when you start getting into the cosmic, like, good and evil meta fight, and start getting away from, like, characters doing things. I'm not a fan of that in any, like, story. When they lose their focus and just go into, like, abstracts, like, cosmic, objective good and evil. Like, this is light, and this is dark, and light and dark, light is good and dark is bad. Not only because it's slightly racist, but also because it's just cheap. It's a cheap way to get people to care. So, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. So, spoilers, I'm not gonna make Unlock summon Hitler. Unlock's gonna be in it, though. So you're gonna have to read and see what he does. So I think knowing why I'm writing it, like hearing that big rant of mine, will maybe give you a good idea of what's going on, you know? And, well, I just got the draft done, the first draft of the chapter done today, and I find my redrafts aren't taking that long, like in general, so I think I should be able to get that Monday deadline, because I'm leaving Thursday night, I won't have access to my computer until Monday. And even then, it's like I gotta catch up with schoolwork on the Monday and all this stuff. But so basically, as I said in the author's note, I can't reach that Sunday deadline, which is what I'm generally gonna do. I'm gonna try and take that somewhat seriously. But so I can't meet it this week. But the Monday one should come out on time. I got like Google Docs on my phone now, so I can just sort of jot down sentences when we're not doing anything in class. It's pretty handy right now, actually. Because on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I don't know, it's like in your guys' schools. But we have like Wednesday, Thursday block days. So you have like half your classes on one day and half of them on the other, but they're like twice as long. And then you have like a conference period. So it's like just study all, you sit around and do schoolwork, meaning people just go on their phones. So, I wrote like a fairly good chunk of Korra on there. But I'm actually gonna stop talking about Korra now. Rather, I'm going to write the second draft. So I'll post that on Monday. Not the second draft. Hopefully they'll, draft it again, unless I get it perfect the second time. You know what I mean. You'll get the second chapter on Monday. It's sort of like a slower, like a character-focused thing. Focused pretty heavily on Korra, because last episode was like really action-packed, just because of how like the show went. So yeah, we're gonna slow it down. We're gonna sort of establish a couple things, and then we're sort of going into like book 2's like storyline. But it's gonna be modified. And it's gonna be modified more than I modified the ending of book 1. And then from there, I'm thinking there's gonna be like kind of elements from book 3. And then there's gonna be a lot more Fire Nation stuff than was in the show, I've been thinking. It's generally, it's not, the structure is going to be different. We're going to be going places. It'll be fun. I think it'll be a fun ride. So, I'm stalling doing actual writing work long enough. So, I'm going to get to work. I'll see you guys later, I guess. Or talk to you guys, because I'm not really, this isn't a visual, anyway, you get the idea.